passengers. This is your conductor, Sus Caboose, reminding you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hello, passengers. As most of you guys know, I am pregnant and I am 40 weeks now and still no baby. So, if I am moving back and forth a lot throughout this video, is because I am on a fitness ball and I'm trying to get her out. I'm trying to induce her because she needs to come out. So that you may see me moving a lot throughout this video. And I thought this would be a good time to talk about my journey because I feel like some of you may be curious. So I'm gonna talk about my pregnancy journey and then I'm gonna have some tips if you're interested in listening to that, because it is very helpful to get as much information as you can from anybody. And I got new glasses, so I think that's why they look kind of purple on the screen, because they probably will help with the blue light reduction. So cute, huh? Okay, let's begin. I'm gonna start off with my pregnancy journey and how I went from the first trimester to the third trimester. And the first trimester was pretty bizarre, honestly, because I was in January. It turned out I got pregnant in January, and I didn't have any symptoms during the month of January because I was sick. I had what it was. I think it was the cold and flu, or I got allergies because I was taking cold and flu medicine and also allergy medicine because it was the time of cold and flu season. So I didn't really think much of it. Like, I don't think I'm pregnant, and we were trying to get pregnant in December. So in January, I just felt sick. I felt like I had just a bunch of allergies, and I was still working at the time, and I kind of passed out during a shift in January, and then they sent me home because I wasn't feeling well, and I didn't assume it was because of if I was pregnant, because I took Theraflu tea and allergy medicine at the same time. Well, not the same time, but within an hour. And I thought that was like really bad to do. Like, your body couldn't like handle that much medicine in that time period. I took it. So that's why I thought that's the reason I passed out. But later on in February and the end of January, I kept feeling like dizzy and like dehydrated, and I passed out again. I passed out like 4 times throughout the first trimester for sure. I passed out more in March. I passed out twice in March, and then once in February and once in January. And since my period is irregular, so I bought a kit. You remember, I bought a kit about pregnancy tests and ovulation tests, and I was trying to ovulate, and every time it said like this is the right time and stuff, and nothing would happen. Like, I didn't find out, like, a positive pregnancy did not showed up until February 9th, and I was like excited, and I was like, oh my goodness, that can't be right. Like, I couldn't believe it, but because I wasn't feeling much, I was just feeling like dehydrated and like probably not taking care of myself. So I just didn't believe that was like pregnancy symptoms, because it didn't really hit me until the end of February with all the nausea and the the nausea and the vomiting, like like the actual symptoms that show you're pregnant and this is your first trimester. Like I didn't get those until like the end of February, and it was not fun. It was not fun because my birthday's in March, so when my birthday came and I went out to eat, I couldn't hold food down, but it was my birthday, so I had to kind of force myself, and I also needed to keep my nutrition up, so I had to eat that day, and then we went to breakfast. Abraham and I went to breakfast at Blackbird Diner, and then I didn't try to get much because I knew what I was feeling nauseous too, and I know that most likely I was gonna throw it up once I get home. So I didn't eat much. I didn't order like a big meal, and um, and I was right because once I walked inside the door, I ran to the bathroom to throw it up because it, you know, it's part of it. And I was mostly nausea. I was mostly nauseous to meat, any kind of meat, and the smell of garlic and onion just was bad, which is very difficult because the everyone uses garlic and onion to cook meat, and they need meat for protein every day, and like at least for dinner and for lunch. So it was very difficult for me to keep food down in the first trimester. So I actually lost like 10 pounds because of it. I was just throwing up and then like drinking water. And if I do, um, and if I was hungry for something, like my cravings, it would be mostly something sweet, cupcakes and cookies and cake and pie and ice cream. Mostly ice cream. I was craving mostly ice cream. So that was basically the first trimester. And since my diet was mostly sweets, when my second trimester hit and it did the blood work on me, um, my diabetes, my blood sugar was really high, and uh, they gave me the option to either test myself for 2 weeks at home with like the diabetes kit, and or go into um the clinic, the hospital, to where I got the blood work done, and do the 3 hour test. Like drink the juice, wait 3 hours, and then get your blood taken out and then test it. Um, and I was like 3 hours. Like I don't drive. I don't have a car. Well, I have a permit, but I don't have a car. So, and I don't like driving. At the same time, I don't like driving. So I was, and if Abraham were to take me, I know he sleeps late and wakes up late, and he's not a morning person. So I was like, I don't want him to wait 3 hours. Like, wake up, take me, wait 3 hours, and then get ready for work. Because most likely it's going to be around that time. And also, he works at 1. And I really didn't see how it could have worked out if he would take me. Because I also like to sleep in. Like, the latest I can wake up. Well, the latest I've been waking up is 11. But if I need to wake up for something important, I would like it to be like 8 the earliest and like 12 the latest. And I was like, there's no way. And also, there's going to be people in front of me. There's going to be like a long line because the first time I went, it was a long line. And it was like a long wait. So I was like, no, I can't do that 3 hour test. So I suggested the testing for 2 weeks with the diabetes kit and track down my blood sugar, and that kind of helped me keep my diet back to normal or healthy, because I probably wouldn't eat much like protein, grains, fiber, and stuff like that throughout my pregnancy if it wasn't because of my blood sugar. Because the majority of my cravings, or the majority I've been wanting to eat, was ice cream. Like since the first trimester to the third trimester, all I want is ice cream, and that is not good for me and for the baby. And during the second trimester, I was able to keep the food down a little bit more. So I was able to keep food down. Now the nausea cleared up because I tried everything. I tried like the pregnancy pop drops, um, vitamin B6, um, and I suggested it to my OB, and they prescribed me actually Sanfron, something like that. I think I'm saying it right. So they prescribed me um, Sanofren, I think that's how you call it, for the nausea, which is like it's like a little stronger medicine. Um, so yeah, once I took those, because those really did help me more than like the pregnancy drops and the vitamin B. They did help. But at the same time, like later on in the day, I would like have to take them again or something like that because at the same, I would feel nauseous again. And it wasn't until I got those that it actually completely went away. And oh my goodness, I sound like a broken record. And anyways, so second trimester was mostly me trying to. They told me to fast, so eat between like the hours of 12 to 8 only, and to test my blood sugar 4 times a day. So like before I eat, after I eat, that's one, and then 3 meals, and then like a snack. So I would test throughout those times, and it would be like an hour after I eat, test. Like test before I eat, then wait an hour, and then test like my blood. So that was mostly my second trimester, and I was eating small meals. I was eating like palm-sized meals, which I think, now that I think about it, I'm kind of grateful for, because I I learned to control myself with what I wanted to eat versus what I need to eat. And okay, moving on to my third trimester. Well, yeah, technically, once I got the information to them, they told me that I don't need to test anymore for like the 27-week period that you need to test for like the 3-hour test. They told me that I don't need to test it because they look good, and I was like, okay, I disciplined myself and got my blood sugar down, so I didn't need to test any for the 3rd hour test. They told me, no, you don't need to. It looks good. You should keep going, and everything will be fine. So when the 3rd trimester rolled around, I started to eat. But the second trimester, I did gain a little bit of weight. I only gained like 2 pounds back from all the vomiting I did in the first trimester. And the 3rd trimester, I started gaining weight rapidly because I was eating a lot more or bigger amounts. And so I was eating a lot more, bigger amounts, and I was eating whatever I wanted. I wasn't eating like what I was eating during the time I had to test for my blood sugar. I was eating pizza, I was eating burgers, I was eating spaghetti, like basically whatever the baby wanted, whatever sounded good, I wanted it. And so I was, but at the same time, I had to think about eating some vegetables, some grains, some fiber, especially fiber. You have no idea how much you need fiber. And the clinic, the Women's Health Center, signed me up for a WIC. So I have like $35 to spend on fruits and vegetables, which helped me a lot to make sure that I'm eating fruits and vegetables. And I would mostly get bananas, mostly fruit, because I like fruit, and the vegetables part, I like, I will force myself to eat them, but like, imagine you being the only one that eats like a bag of carrots by yourself. Kind of get pretty gross out of them. At some point, you're gonna feel like you don't want any carrots anymore. So I would just grab a little bit of fruits and veggies, and the rest would be, excuse me, the rest would be fruit, because I can eat fruit and I don't get tired of fruit. If I had to pick fruits or veggies, I will pick fruit. Anyways, so I would try to discipline myself on eating fruits and vegetables and grains and fiber. I would get blueberries because that helps, and I would make like oatmeal in the morning and stuff like that. Like I would try to eat a healthy breakfast so I can eat not so of a healthy dinner. Because during the third trimester was in the early weeks of the third trimester, I would only eat mostly like as a meal would be breakfast and dinner. For lunch, I wouldn't really eat much. I would, if there is something I wanted, I would make it like quesadillas or something. But I would mostly eat like, I know I don't want to say it, but I would mostly eat like candy or cookies or granola bars. Yeah. But then I would also eat like a banana or strawberries or like snack on blueberries. But I would eat a snack during the time where you have to eat lunch instead. I would just eat snacks because I honestly didn't want lunch. I just wasn't in the mood to make lunch or eat lunch. Especially since for me, lunch sounds like you need to eat a sandwich. Oh, no, yeah, for me, it's mostly sandwiches. So I would make sandwiches before I got pregnant. Um, and I would eat sandwiches. Turkey sandwiches are my favorite. So I can't eat deli meat because they're technically, in a way, considered raw. And you can't have raw food when you're pregnant, obviously. Or unpasteurized milk and cheeses. And I guess that's why I didn't really eat lunch. Because I didn't really have a clue on what I would eat besides sandwiches. That was just me. Anyways. Um okay, yeah, my third trimester. After eating, I started to gain weight rapidly because I was eating a lot. So I started to gain weight rapidly, and that was just me. The baby was okay because my appointment when I only gained 2 pounds, the OB was the OB at the midwife. I don't know who I met with. Um, told me that they're kind of worried about the gain weight, whether if it's the baby not growing as it's supposed to. And so she scheduled an ultrasound for her measurements to get her measured. And during that time, I was able to request like 3D ultrasounds. And my baby does not like to be on camera because she doesn't move during the sonic the ultrasounds. She would not move. It would take like an hour or so for the nurse or something. I don't really know their names. Anyways, it would take like an hour or so for the measurements to be accurate or like close to what they could get. She doesn't move throughout the time that she's on camera. And when we suggested the 3D uh, face part of the ultrasound, she has her hands like this, like on covering her face, kind of like she's sleeping, like napping like this. But she has her hands like this. Um, and it was so cute. You can see her elbow and everything, and her face is adorable. But she only wanted the face. She only wanted to get the face and not the hands and everything, but it's okay. We were able to get some, that's the good thing. So after that happened, um, it turned out I got the results saying like it turns out she's okay. She's growing properly. She is healthy. She's looking healthy in there. And then I was okay. Then it's just me then that I wasn't gaining weight properly at the same time as because in the beginning of the pregnancy you don't really want to eat much. So now that my third trimester rolled around, I was eating what I wanted to eat. I was able to keep the food down, no more nausea, and if I did have nausea, I had my prescribed medicine for it, so I would just take it and I feel better. And my next appointment, my weight grew rapidly. Like I gained a pound almost every week, like a pound a week. And I went to an appointment actually on the 27th of September, and I started off in my pregnancy. I started off with 198 pounds. Then you subtract 10, that's 188, and now I am 213. So I gained a lot of weight. Anyways, I don't want to go into that because I know I want to lose it as soon as possible once baby's here. So my weight is good. Baby is good. I am eating. I am drinking my water. And so the third trimester was like pretty much me feeling like myself a little bit, to the point that we were able to take like a little mini road trip to Salem, Oregon for Abraham's birthday last weekend. Since his birthday is on October 15, and that would mean the baby would be like 2, maybe 1 week new as a newborn, and we're gonna have to stay here trying to get ourselves settled down and work a routine with the baby and stuff like that, so we won't be able to celebrate his birthday when it comes. So that's why we took the mini road trip to Salem, to get him his favorite foods and stuff like that, and just like enjoy the day. So I was feeling like myself, and just recently on Monday, I think that Monday on the 27th, the same day, I had an OB appointment at the clinic. I asked them if they can check my water because I keep leaking. Like obviously I'm leaking. I don't have no control over my bladder. Like every time I had the urge when I would leak, I would try to hold it a little bit to go to the bathroom, but I wouldn't make it. Like I would pee my pants walking towards the bathroom. So I figured, and there was this one time in the shower that once I was coming out of the shower, I felt like a liquid came out of me, but I had like no control over it. Like I had no sensation or anything, no feeling that came out. But I just like saw it on my leg, like just running down, and I was like, interesting. I wonder if my water broke in the shower or if it ripped, because I haven't felt. You know how they tell you, well, if you're a boy, you probably don't know. But for women, when you are in the process of learning about pregnancy, most likely a woman will tell you that when your water breaks, it feels like a balloon pop. I did not feel that. I haven't felt the balloon popped, but I do feel like my water may have ripped because I am leaking some kind of fluid that I have no control over. So the Monday with my OB, I told her if she can check my water, and she said, "Okay, I'll check it." She did. The result on the paper came back like, "Yeah, it looks like it's your water." Um, but then she looked under the microscope and she wasn't sure. And then I was like, okay. And then she suggested that I go to the hospital, the family birthing center, to get a more accurate result. And at the same, and they told me during that appointment in the morning would be they would be checking my cervix and they would be doing a stress test. And it turned out that the stress test was not scheduled during my visit. And the OB, when she checked under the microscope for all the tests that she did in there, like checking of the cervix, checking of the water, checking of what else did she check? I don't remember, but she was checking like 3 things, and 2 came out positive, 1 came out negative. So she did not feel comfortable checking my cervix, and the stress test was not scheduled. After that appointment in the morning at the clinic, they sent me to the hospital. They made an appointment, and they told them there's that I'll be walking. Basically, she told me that they'll be expecting me. I was like, okay, yeah, I can go today. Like, there's no time. And then I told Abraham, like, right after I finished with the appointment, that he has to take me. Then we went. It was so frustrating because the National Guard was there, and he was the only one there. When I walked in, and he redirected me to like the other side of the hospital where they have all of the cancer patients and stuff, or the work with cancer. And I told Abraham, like, this is not right. He like redirected me, and they're expecting me here. She made the appointment and everything, so it was very frustrating after that. And I was like, okay, let's just go home. Let's go home because you need to get your ID for work and need to go to work, obviously. And then we told his mom about it, and then she suggested what we can do, and she helped me calm down because I was so frustrated, and I really don't want to be frustrated. It's not going to be good for me or the baby. So after Abraham's mom was done with her work, and then I called the clinic saying, hey, I need to find out who am I meeting and like what tests am I being done and all that, and if it is happening, like if they are expecting me, you know. So after Abraham's mom finished working, she said, okay, figure out if that's the right place. Like if nothing changed, they didn't move anything out of the ordinary. Abraham went and found out, and that is the right place where I was supposed to be. And then I got the call from the clinic about who am I meeting and what I'm being to be tested for. And I got the information for that. And then after she finished working, she got some food. She took me to the hospital, and then she came in with me, and all that. The tests were done and stuff, and everything turned out fine. Minus that my blood pressure was high, a little higher than normal, and they were able to check my cervix, and it turned out that I am 1 centimeter dilated. I dilated 1 centimeter that Monday, the 27th, which kind of makes sense because the weekend that we went to Salem, um, I was feeling like contractions. Like I was feeling like those false contractions, those practice contractions. But at the same time, I feel like I had that before, like I don't know, in August I had one, and I believe that was the only one I would probably get. But my contractions haven't been consistent. They haven't been getting longer. They haven't been getting stronger or tighter. And my due date is supposed to be September 30th. So, and it's October already. So that's why I've been trying to induce my baby naturally in a way. I've been walking I think on Tuesday, the next day after coming back from the clinic or the hospital, on Tuesday, I since I found out I was dilated 1 centimeter, I was like, okay, let's get the show on the road. I am ready. I'm ready to meet my daughter. I want to do this. So I drank pineapple juice. I drank chocolate abuelita, but it was just like water, like a water base. That Abraham's mom said it helped her, and I was like, okay, I should try it, and I think it did, kind of. I feel like that Tuesday I probably dilated 1 more centimeter. And what else did I do? I was walking, I was bouncing. Um, my mother-in-law said to chew on ice, but I don't really like ice. My teeth are very sensitive to ice, especially more than ice cream. But I did have like a little bit of ice. So that Tuesday was spent mostly trying to induce her with like foods because I did have like spicy food. I like put sriracha on fall. So that Tuesday was spent mostly trying to induce myself naturally, and then the days came up like then on Wednesday, my feet were so tired and I was so sore on my thighs. I just didn't feel like doing much, but I did do a little bit. And then Thursday, I thought I didn't really need to do a lot because I was expecting her to come already. Like I was expecting the balloon ruptured feeling, but I told Abraham that I think my water has ripped because I kept like peeing myself. Like I had no control over the liquid that was coming out of me during that day. Mostly that day, I couldn't control what was coming out of me. And then on today, Friday, October 1st, Friday, I had a contraction last night. So I had a contraction last night and it lasted for like 10 minutes, around 12:30. And I didn't get one ever like throughout the night. I was able to sleep. I was just in pain from like head to toe because I was sore and my back was kind of no, it was hurting. It was hurting, very uncomfortable, and I've been having leg cramps, but the feeling of a leg cramp, but like not exactly the intense feeling of it, leg cramp, if that makes sense. To like the point you can't walk on it. I just got like a little now. I am really trying my best to take it out because they want me to go. The clinic wants me to go back and like keep an eye on my blood pressure just in case. But I really want her out by the end of this week. So later on today, I'm planning on taking a walk, a long walk, an hour long walk. But yeah, that's where I am now. Okay. So moving on to the tips of during the pregnancy process. For me, like my tips to give as an advice that I haven't heard from anyone else was to drink water, a lot of water. at least 60 ounces a day. Try to drink a lot of water to help flush everything you eat, especially if it's like not healthy, like pizza, burgers, and stuff like that. It would help flush everything out. And now and then you can just put like, you can also eat blueberries. They help because they are full of antioxidants. So blueberries and water will be my major, excuse me, tips for when you need to digest, because it would hurt to go to the restroom and do number two. It would really hurt really bad. It hurts really bad. I had to learn that the hard way during like my second trimester when I was able to eat. And I was drinking water, but not enough to help flush everything out. So I had to eat blueberries. So that's how I learned that. And walking, get at least some exercise. I would say walking would be the best, honestly, if you're not like big on exercising. I would say walking, or at least just being on your feet for 30 minutes, honestly. The more the the more the merrier, but at least 30 minutes of some kind of movement, even though you're not gonna want to because you're so tired. Like I was so tired throughout the first trimester and second trimester. I would spend most of my time laying in bed, but I would at least try to discipline myself to get up and walk for 30 minutes, or to just be on my feet for 30 minutes. I would space them out, like before, like after eating breakfast, I would be on my feet for like 10 minutes, and then after eating a snack or so, I would be on my feet for another 10 minutes, and then before dinner, I would be on my feet for 10 minutes. And that's how I would try to get myself some exercise. Like, you don't have to do it all at once. Don't force yourself. Don't push to the limit. Just take it easy, because you do need to take it easy. Be taking care. Well, be aware of your surroundings, especially since like women and the elderly have like a 75% chance of clumsiness. So that's why you have to be aware of your surroundings and be caution with everything, and take it a slow. Like if you're slower than everybody else at the grocery store, that's okay. Honestly, like they can't not leave you behind. Obviously, you're carrying a child; they're gonna come looking for you. So it's okay to be slow. It's okay to take your time to just do what's comfortable for you and what's right. Another tip would be to eat small meals. I know during the third trimester I learned this, because in the beginning I would start eating a lot after doing the blood sugar testing. I would eat like big meals. Like I would serve myself so much because I'm so hungry, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat all this, but I didn't. I forced myself to eat it because I already served myself, and that's how I think about food. Like whatever's on your plate, you have to eat it and you have to finish it. I served myself so much, and others were serving me so much, and I was like, I'm full. Like by the time I have like half of my plate done, I couldn't eat no more. It's like, I am full. I cannot keep this down. So once I finish eating half of what I have in my plate, I would wait like at least 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then eat the other half. And it kind of worked, but at the same time, it wasn't enough time to keep the food down or to let the food go down. So my tip would be to eat small meals throughout the entire pregnancy. Whenever you're hungry, just eat like the size of your hand. And then if you're still hungry, you can always get more. Obviously, you can always get more. Don't serve yourself a lot on your plate. If you're like me, don't serve yourself a lot on your plate, because most likely you will not finish that. So just eat slowly, especially slowly. Don't want to choke. So eat slowly and eat small. That's another tip for me to give. And find that one meal that you really like, because it's most likely that would be your go-to meal throughout your pregnancy when you don't feel like eating anything or you have no idea what to eat. I would say just find that one meal that you cannot get tired of. For me, it was cereal. Um, I love cereal. So cereal, I will eat that mostly for like breakfast and dinner when I didn't feel like eating anything like meaty or greasy, and I was just eat cereal. My favorite cereal is like Honey Bunches, especially with bananas in it. That meal was very helpful and not so helpful on the grocery budget because we'll have to buy so much milk. But good thing with WIC, I would get like, and I am able to get 4 gallons and a half of milk, which is really good. I'm really grateful for that. And cereal, I was able to get 2 boxes. I'm able to get 2 boxes of Honey Bunches. So that one meal really helps when you're not hungry for anything, but you need to have food in your stomach. You need to keep giving your baby nutrition. There was days that I did not feel like eating at all, which every time I would think about it, I would tell myself, no, you need to feed your child. You need to feed your baby now. You have to take care of your baby even if she's inside. So that's how it helped me keep eating. And another very useful tip when you go to sleep or lay down, you should always go on your side because your back, when you lay on your back, it feels very strange because to me, I was able to feel her body when I lay on my back, like an actual baby laying on you, but from the inside that you cannot touch. It was very strange. And I also read that when you lay on your back, you are most likely contracting the uterus to the point that your baby's kind of squished to where it can affect their muscles and their joints. That's what I wanted to say. Their joints. So it's very helpful to sleep on your side, and you may need a lot of pillows to get comfy because since your body is shaped uniquely, you need to cover those gaps where your body does not touch the bed. So you will need a pillow like on your side of your belly to support the baby, and like on the side of where your hips and your ribs have that little gap, if you have that gap there. And then right here on your neck and your shoulders, there's like that gap. There's a gap here. And then you would also need a pillow between your legs because you would also, I was able to feel her head down there, like she is positioned. Let me get up. She is mostly like right here is where her bum bums are. Her feet are right here, and her head is down there. And that's how she is. I think that's how she was since day one, honestly. I haven't felt her move to the point that her head is like facing my head, like up vertical with my head. No way, this is too. Anyways, like up to where my ribs are. I haven't felt her head by my ribs. Only there was this one time when I was laying on my left side, while I was watching TV. I was laying on my left side. I don't know why, but she moved her head to where my ribs are, and I felt it because I did felt a little shortness of breath for a second, and then she like rotated back down. She just like made a full circle. It was very strange, but I really liked it because I was able to feel her move, and it's really nice when I feel her move because it makes me feel like at peace of mind that she is still alive that I am not. um, I don't know why, but I don't. It makes me feel like I am not. I am doing a good job taking care of her while she's in my womb. Even though there's not much for me to do besides eating right and drinking water, and just that's for now, I think, and then exercise. That's all I can do for now. Even though I feel like I have to do more, but that's all I can do for now. Anyways, so sleeping on your side, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of pillows. You're gonna need a lot of pillows or a pregnancy pillow. Abraham bought me a pregnancy pillow for my birthday to help me sleep because around second trimester when my belly started getting bigger, it was very difficult. It was difficult to fall asleep, especially since I had to keep reminding myself I cannot lay on my stomach. I cannot lay on my stomach. I cannot lay on my side. I mean, on my back. I cannot lay on my back or my side, and those are like the mostly favorite positions of all time. So I would have to sleep on my shoulder. I would have to sleep on my side, which put a lot of weight on my shoulders. So I would wake up with my shoulders sore and like hurting and stuff until the pregnancy pillow came, and it helped a lot because I would have a support on the gap of right here from the neck to your shoulders and my side, and it support the baby, and have a pillow between my legs, like all in one. But you would still, there's also a symptom in pregnancy that no one really talks about or mentions it much, is that you can get carpal tunnel. You can get carpal tunnel, and like your limbs get very sensitive, like my legs and my wrists, my elbows, my arms and my legs. If you're bending them for too long, they're gonna get tingly very fast. So you get that tingly feeling and carpal tunnel too. So we would have to rotate every time you feel like your arm. My arm was tingling every time on my right side because I like my right side better than my left side. And once it started to tingle, I would rotate my arm, and then I would sleep on my left side. And then I think my left side is like the weakest part, since I am a righty. I write with my right hand, and I do everything with my right side. So my left side is very weak. So this side would be getting very tingly faster than my right side. So I would rotate back and forth like almost every night. So if you can purchase a pregnancy pillow, I would suggest you should. It's very helpful, even though after the baby comes, I don't know what to do with that thing. Even though it is also functionable to do breastfeeding and to lay the baby in, but after a while, you're gonna outgrow it. I have no idea what to do with it afterwards. I don't know if I should save it and put it away for like the next time, or give it away for like the next person. Pass it down to whoever I know will be getting pregnant as. So I'm gonna do that. And there's different types of pillows. Like you can search up different types of pillows. Doesn't have to be really big. Doesn't have to be really small. There's different varieties now. And I think that's about it. I wrote notes so I can remind myself on what I need to talk about, because lately my mind has been all over the place, mostly with the baby and mostly why she's not coming out and stuff like that. And yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, now that I'm looking at my notes, that when I found out that I was pregnant with the pregnancy test from February 9th, and I scheduled the first ultrasound appointment. I waited until March. I waited until like March 8th because I didn't want to go, and if it's true, I didn't want to go and just get like an ultrasound of something this small, you know? How there's ultrasounds that like the baby's like this tiny, like a little pea. And I was like, I feel like that would be a waste of money. I don't know why. I just think that way, that I think it could be a waste of money to get an ultrasound of your baby that you can't even recognize anything. It looks just like a little worm or something. Anyways, I waited until March to schedule it. I wanted like at least 8 weeks after finding out, because I think around 8 weeks you can tell like the little arms growing and the legs and everything. So I waited until then just to call and schedule an ultrasound. And when I went in with Abraham, he was allowed to go in to see the baby. It turns out that the baby was 14 weeks. Growing? It was 14 weeks. So we have, man, I don't have that ultrasound here. Right up. This is the big picture. So the baby was 14 weeks and I thought it was 8 weeks. I was like, what? How is that possible? I just found out I was pregnant like February 9th. And then she told me, okay, it looks like you've been pregnant since January. Like, probably January 1st or like December. I was like, interesting. And then she told me the due date. And it was a very interesting day. It was very exciting to see the baby, and it was like already full grown, like this size and everything. Well, not full grown, but you're able to tell the hands, the feet, the body, the head. Like you were able to tell the body was in there. And that's what I wanted, and I was really grateful for that. But I was just not expecting it to be 14 weeks. Like the arms were already elbow size. Like the elbows were already coming up. I was expecting like little tiny hands, little tiny feet, like very, very small. And then I just see the TV and it's like a almost, you can tell everything, baby. You can tell where the nose is, the eyes, the mouth. And I was so excited. It was such a great day. Anyways, yeah. So that's about it. That's all I gotta say about my pregnancy journey and the tips. The tips, honestly, I have more tips if you want to find out, but those are the ones that I feel like no one really tells you much, and they're very important. So just like drink water, exercise, and sleep on your side, and like use a bunch of pillows, and like sleep on your side, and mostly you should ask for help. Like ask your family to help you out, like their experience most likely. I like to hear their stories and stuff, because you never really know. It could happen to you or could not happen to you. Who knows? But it's good to know what could happen so you can have an idea on what to prepare for. So also try to get like stories, hear stories, and get advice from other people if you can. So that's about it. It's a very long video. I do apologize, but it is a long process. I just summed up 9 months into an hour video. If you have any more questions or comments, just put them down. Type them down. I'll try to look at it, and if you keep you updated, probably. Who knows if baby will coming out this week or next week. I'm trying everything I can, but some things I cannot control. Alright then. Alright, passengers. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.